Turns out the copy that everyone had online is actually the Mac version that just has Windows executables, so it doesn't work. The version I captured
Oh,
worked, but it came bundled with the wrong version of QuickTime. So
right.
so that was fucked as well, but we managed to mangle the two together to make a working copy. So it was a very good team effort. If you haven't seen one of these games before, we have 6 hours to solve a murder. We have played all of them so far, except this is the last one in the series. We're going to see how it goes. We do have 3 different murders. Hopefully we can solve the first one, quick enough that we can move on to the other ones. Yeah, I gave them to Exodus. Because again, like they're the ones who originally they've got all the others, and those were working. It was just this one that wasn't working. But what am I looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, I just wanted to bring up. No, I don't need my phone. I need a notebook because we're gonna write down our facts. Yes, this one will do. Here's my pen.
Handy dandy notebook.
Yes. All right, are we ready for the report of murder?
Let's go. I'm sorry.
His name is Taylor French. Age 33. Height 5'4". Weight approximately 115 pounds.
Okay.
She's a reporter at the Carthage News. Their best, according to editor Marilyn Underwood. Her body was discovered by the mayor's wife, Joni Armistead, at about 9:40 last night. Mrs. Armistead was taking a walk in the Carthage Town Park off Raleigh Road. She lives right nearby and says she often walks at that hour with the sun setting so late right now. The body was about 200 yards inside the park, right next to the base of a public drinking fountain. French was wearing jogging gear. Originally, it looked like an accidental death, caused by slipping against the concrete base of the fountain. She was found lying face down in a pool of her own blood coming from a blunt trauma to the right side of her head. But a further examination of the crime scene reveals that there was a second injury to the back of French's head.
Well, I was going to say as well, if she fell, this would not be
death.
the side
French's
showing up.
reporting was known for its controversial subject matter.
Oh.
Her boss says she regularly stirred up lots of feeling and response from her readers. French's work last year on uncovering environmental violations at the Orinka landfill helped close it. Rumor has it that the work was nominated for a Pulitzer. As if that's not enough, French was known to be previously dating Orinka's owner, Al Leonetti.
Oh,
Ex-lovers
ex-boyfriend.
and the landfill business sound like an explosive mix to me. Her current series is on spouse battering. She's profiling a battered woman as she makes her way through the social service net, from shelter to court to a new life on her own. The profile is being done anonymously, but a man named Tom Washington has taken it into his head that he's the one being profiled. And he doesn't like it. Marilyn Underwood has hired a plainclothes security guard for the newspaper offices after a bomb threat was phoned in.
Ooh.
And Washington may have been stalking French. It's hard to tell. There are no immediate significant clues, except one. A photograph of the victim was found in the bushes a few feet away from the body, with an X scratched across the face. Taylor French was also wearing a Walkman at the time she was killed.
What was she listening to?
The tape is probably music, but we brought it into headquarters anyway. We've roped off the water fountain area in the park. We're checking out her office and her home. We've also tried to notify closest of kin, but it's turning out that she only has one cousin who lives in Oregon.
Okay.
Linda Roth, a woman claiming to be her best friend who lives in the same condo complex, has been handling the details.
Cool. All right. Let's go check out our sauces. Oh, no, let's go to our crime scene first. Okay, let's see. We've got just in general. Footprints were found in the mud next to the body, which belongs to a men's size 10. Men's 10. Footprints of the victim have been identified, as well as those the person who found her, Joni Armstead, who was walking her dog. So I'm guessing there's also dog prints. The dog probably came right up and was like, "Whoo, huh, whoo, whoo, whoo." I want to know about this blood on the hand. What? No, I wanted the hand. Actually, there's blood on this hand as well. Unidentified fingerprints on the inside of the victim's left arm. There's also slight bruises as someone grabbed her very hard. Oh dear, definite murder. What is this outfit she's wearing?
Yeah. I think it's like 90s jogger,
Yeah.
like number 2 in the credits.
But, like, what's that called? I like that this is... It also looks like she's working a construction site. Okay. The head. Give me the head. Oh. Yeah, because if she hit her head on this side, her body, like, probably would have fallen the other way. With this head down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The victim was also hit on the right side of the head. She probably was hit from behind while bending over to take a drink. To hit someone in the head with enough force to create this type of trauma means the murderer was strong and probably right-handed. Right. There's small amounts of grit embedded in the victim's head wounds. It may have come from the murder weapon. Okay, all the blood that's there is her own. What about the blood in her nose? Like, wait, how did it get up her nose like that? Like, if it was all over her face, I could understand, but it's just like, it's like specifically being put in her nose.
I'm guessing the blood's coming from inside her nose.
Well,
That's part of the story.
what about this one here?
That I don't know. I don't know about behind the ear as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it was coming from in front of the ear, then sure, but at the same time, she was hitting the head. Why is her ears bleeding? Anything else? Do we check the booty? Doesn't seem to be a lot in this crime scene. See, it looks like there's like a wallet or something by her hand, but they don't seem to care.
Can't search the bum bag either.
No. I want in that bummy. Give me the bummy. Alright, let's see who we got. Oh, look at these fine people. Well, at least it looks like we brought them all into the office for once. Hello, Sam. No, you haven't missed much. So far, we found a reporter that's been found dead near a water fountain. Yes, let's go for Mike.
Your name and occupation?
Mike Bird. I'm a trainer down at the Edgecombe Sports Center. I'm a part-time cop.
Oh,
I fix cars when I feel like it.
What was your relationship to Taylor French?
I fucked her.
Info guy. Between Sam's, my police work, and the gym, I seen her a lot.
Oh.
And, we hit the hay a few times.
Oh, I was right.
According to my sources, that wasn't always the impression you gave people.
What do you mean?
A former co-worker came forward to say that you used to say Taylor French was your girlfriend. He described you as obsessed.
Look, I might have said we dated, but I never called her my girlfriend, and I wasn't obsessed.
Whoa.
Jesus
What jerk
Christ,
said that?
okay.
I'm sorry, but I can't reveal his name. When was the last time you saw her?
Yesterday at the gym. You know, Taylor had a phobia about dying a violent death.
Oh.
It was, around 5:30.
Who do you think murdered Taylor
That's when
French?
she had her phobia.
Could have been a lot of people. Taylor had a knack for making people angry. For example, folks that run landfills aren't known to be friendly, especially when your expose helps get the gravy train closed down. It could be Al Leonetti, or a hitman he hired. Or it could be some
Me.
new leads Taylor was working on, and they got a little too hot.
Oh.
Do you mean the battering series?
No, something even more recent.
Oh.
Taylor was on the trail of something having to do with Senator Parker. She wouldn't say what.
Where were you between the hours of 7 and 10 last night?
I was at Sam's.
She's not your girlfriend,
Ask
but
Ed
you
the
know
bartender. I was there from 6.
you know what she was
till
working
8.
on.
I had a little free time waiting for Molly, a waitress there, to get off, so I took a spin in the car. It was a beautiful night. I was back by the time she got off her shift at 9.
Where did you drive?
Down to the reservoir and back.
Did you see anyone on your way?
Not anyone I knew.
Thank you, Mr. Bird. We'll be back in touch.
Whatever.
Bird is the word.
He's very suspicious.
Yeah. Who would you like to check out next?
Let's go with Tom Washington.
Oh, yeah, he's serious. Look at that beard.
The beard and the eyes really speaking to me.
1 hour and you have 5 left.
Please state your name and occupation.
Oh, my name's Tom Washington.
Whoa.
U.S. Postal employee.
Mr. Washington, were you stalking a certain Taylor French over the past week?
Yes, I was.
Oh, I wasn't following her to kill her. Look, my whole life has changed ever
Is
since
that a
my
toupee
wife met that woman.
glued onto his
I mean,
chin?
my wife and my child gone down to a battered center, stupidest thing I ever heard of. I mean, what about battered husbands and
Whoa.
fathers? I'll tell you about battering. She nags me all day, drives me berserk.
Oh, I mean, he might have a toupee up top as well, but that
Don't you know it's
that
against
beard.
the law to stalk?
Look, I was just trying to scare the bitch.
Whoa!
Jesus.
I wouldn't have touched her.
What time did you leave your stakeout at Taylor's condo, and where did you go?
Look, I started watching the place about 7. When I left, my truck clock said 8:15. I went down to Debbie's Diner, ate a hamburger, simple as that. And then I went home. I got home 9:30.
Do you know that Ms. French was killed at approximately 8:40?
Oh, well, hey, just my luck, huh?
Can anyone at the diner vouch for you?
Yeah,
Mark Bird.
Denise can.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. We'll be in touch when we have more questions.
Okay, so she died at 8:40. Oh, let's go with Jason Segel. Jason Segel's dad, maybe. Let's yeah, Barry Mitchell.
Please state your name.
No, I
and
think Mike
occupation.
might have been at a bar
I'm
rather
Barry
than
Mitchell,
the
and I'm a
diner.
reporter with the Carthage News, and I've been there
Ooh.
for 8 years.
Oh wow.
What words would you use to describe Taylor French?
Oh, ambitious, avaricious, aggressive. Shall we go on to the B's? Brilliant?
I take it you didn't get along.
Well, you take it right, detective. You see, Taylor wanted all of the glory, and she would just go to any length to get it. And she had Marilyn Underwood under her thumb, and because of that, she could just simply get away with murder. Pardon the expression. Take the famous solid landfill waste series, for example, that closed down the Leonetti landfill. Well, no one seemed to mind that Taylor was getting her information by sleeping with the landfill owner, who was very married, by the way.
If she was having an affair with the owner, why would she write scathing articles about him?
Oh, well, classic Taylor. It's like conflict of interest, really, wouldn't you say? She told me that it was because he lied.
What
to
a
her.
shy.
Yes, you
And,
want
of
to
course, she
start
found
again,
his ties
sir?
with the mafia despicable. But personally, I think she was just angry because he wouldn't leave his wife. And I think Taylor was really just madly in love with him.
Mr. Mitchell, at least one person has described your relationship with Miss French as hostile.
Well, how would you feel if someone scooped all your stories? You see, Marilyn originally assigned the solid landfill waste series to me. But Taylor came in and convinced her that she could work better with the environmental groups. And now, of course, her series on battering has preempted my series on the growing gay community here.
Did you wrote
Oh.
her a note asking to get together on the day she was killed? Why?
Well, that was just terrible timing, I'll agree. But I wanted to ask her some questions about Senator Parker. And if you want my opinion about the murder, I believe that I would talk to him.
I think he's definitely
Because, you
gay-coded.
see, I think that Taylor was his nemesis. And he must have been getting really nervous about something because she was meaning and getting something from his wife, Eleanor.
Oh.
And I just can't figure out what it might be. It certainly couldn't have been that little affair with his attorney and felon, Roberta Dudash, because that was in People
Roberta
magazine, for
Dudash!
God's sakes.
Where were you between the hours of 7 and 10 last night?
I was being gay.
Well, let's see. Oh, I was at my friend Paul Miller's house. I went there about 6:45, and we drank some wine. And then we drove to the theater, and the film started at 8:15. We saw Billy Pope,
What?
and it was really
Can,
wonderful.
can this man take another take, please?
Can you think of anything unusual? Anything that sticks out over the past few days about Taylor's schedule of habits?
Well, just Taylor having lunch with Eleanor Parker. You know, they met for almost 3 hours. And when she got back to the office, there was just something about the way Taylor acted. I'm not sure what it was. She was just elated and fluttering about. I think maybe she had something on him at that point, like she was all stoked up. But it just struck me odd because she wasn't at all concerned about that batter or Washington like Marilyn would have you believe. Because, you see, this really isn't the first time that a reporter's been threatened over a story.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Now, listen, you know, I certainly had my differences with Taylor, but I'm truly sorry that she's dead. I truly am.
Now, this is the shame, because he's a great body actor for this character, but he's just stumbling over his lines. Was this the best take this man did?
Yeah. Must be.
Alright, let's do Al Leonetti. So this is the guy that owns the landfill that she was sleeping with.
Please state your name and occupation.
Al Leonetti. I'm an entrepreneur.
Mr. Leonetti, what was your relationship to Taylor French?
Taylor and I were very close friends. Well, actually, Taylor and I were lovers for a little over the last 2 years.
Ooh.
She and I split up after the Arinka scandal. I'm the owner of that landfill.
When did you last see her?
Last
Yeah,
night.
this guy looks pretty mobby, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Very odd. I know it seems a little suspicious. I'd called Taylor 2 days ago to see if we could talk.
I wanted her to ride my balls.
To tell you the truth, I couldn't stop thinking about her.
Oh.
I thought things had blown over. She had a new cause with a battered spouse thing. I went back hoping we could patch things up.
And
What
I could
time
become
last
her
night?
battered spouse.
About 6:15, we met at her house. Sat out on the deck. I had a glass of scotch. She was drinking bottled water. She was on this new health kick. You know, running every night, laying off the fat. Wouldn't have lasted.
What did you talk about?
She was working on a new series on battered spouses. There were a lot of men out there she was very angry at, and she wouldn't name names. She said she wanted to put some of them behind bars. I told her that was her problem. She took things too much to heart. She told me my problem was that I and many others couldn't tell wrong from right. Well, it started an argument. She got up, told me she had to go. She had work to do. She put a tape in her Walkman and walked me to the door.
Where did you go after that?
Went to Josie's for some Mexican food.
Yeah.
I don't live at home anymore. My wife and I split up after the landfill scandal.
Yeah, as you would.
After dinner, I went to my house. I got home about 9 o'clock.
Was anyone else there?
No, I live alone. Oh, come on, detective. I didn't do it. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not a killer.
Thank you very much, Mr.
I'm just a
Leonetti.
man with a lonely
We'll get back to
hog.
you if we need to.
Sure. Good luck.
That good luck was mildly threatening.
Let's find out about Linda Roth, and then we'll move on to the Parkers.
Excuse me. There are 4 hours remaining to solve this
Excuse me. You really get on my wick, Chief.
Please give your name and profession.
My name is Linda Roth. I am currently unemployed. I get a disability from Social Security.
Okay.
What is your relationship to the deceased?
I was Taylor's best friend.
Okay.
We were like sisters. I came out here and ended up staying. I lived 3 doors down from her.
Are you sure you were best friends?
What the fuck question is
What are
that?
you talking about?
Miss Roth, we've had reports that, in fact, Taylor French used every means possible to avoid you, and that she did not consider you to be friends.
Oh.
No, that is not true. I don't know who's telling you that. That is not true. Taylor.
Loved me.
Oh, God.
Okay, she wasn't my best friend. We were lovers.
Taylor loved me.
Oh, okay.
She did. She loved me.
When was the last time you saw Taylor French alive?
When was the last time she loved you?
2 days ago. It was in our parking lot at the condo. We made plans to have lunch together.
Since you're unemployed, do you spend most of your time at home?
Yes, generally. Why?
Did you see anything or notice anything unusual near the apartments yesterday? Anything that sticks out?
Yeah, that Al Leonetti, whatever his name is, that Lech, he was hanging around all afternoon waiting for Taylor to come home. He's a pig. I don't know why. She didn't want him back.
What do you mean, hanging around?
He was driving around, cruising, looking up at an apartment with soulful eyes.
Did you see him get out of his car?
Yeah, once or twice.
Cruising.
With
And he went
soulful
somewhere I
eyes.
couldn't see him.
Did you notice what kind of car he was driving?
Did you notice?
I don't know. I'm not very good with cars. Maybe his Lincoln Continental, blue. Possibly it's dark. Yeah, I don't know. He owns about 10 cars.
Mm.
Where were you between 7 and 10 p.m. last night?
I was at home. A friend of mine, Helena Thomas, came over and we watched a rented video about special paint techniques. She is redoing her dining room.
Mm.
That will be all for now. We'll be back in touch if we have other questions.
Such as, tell me more about these painting techniques.
Your name and occupation.
Eleanor Parker. I'm married to United States Senator Richard Parker.
You were there when Taylor French's body was found last night.
Oh.
Yes. I'm still quite shaken up. Actually, my neighbor found her. I was out walking. I couldn't have been more than 200 yards away. I didn't see anything.
I mean, you were there, but
It has been a traumatic 24 hours, I can assure you.
unless you were wearing men's shoes.
Did you fall down or hurt yourself last night in the excitement?
You'll have to excuse my appearance. I'm afraid I had a little accident the other night.
With my battered
I
husband.
walked into the bathroom door in the middle of the night.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Taylor French well?
I can't say that I knew Taylor well. She first came to my attention with a series she was writing on battered women. We get all the local papers in Washington. When I read her first installment, I promised myself I would do something. I gave a little money to the local center here and some toys to the children of these women. I invited Taylor to lunch. She was so bright and courageous, but so, I don't know, sympathetic.
Hmm.
And most of the press I see, they're monsters. So we had lunch together, and I encouraged her to continue with her work. But for something like this to happen,
Thank you very much, Mrs. Parker. We'll be in touch if we have more questions.
We're gonna go talk to your husband
Of
now.
course.
The man who hit
May I
you.
ask you a question, Detective?
Of course.
I lent Taylor a book the other day, and I'd like it back. Would
Oh.
it be possible for me to get into her house and look for it?
No.
Not without a police accompaniment.
Oh, okay. I guess I can wait.
It was the Kama Sutra. That's the book she's looking for. Oh my god, look at just how Brian's just looking at us, just like, meow.
He's such a smug, yeah, he's got such a smug look on his face.
But we're gonna listen to the senator first. Senator, how did your wife get those bruises? Yeah, I hit her. What about it?
Your name and occupation.
My name is Richard Parker. I am a United States Senator.
How well did you know
Senator.
the victim, Taylor French?
Well, we call Carthage home, but actually I spend most of my time in Washington, D.C. I know her for 5 or 6 years, ever since she was a neophyte in the newspaper business. She was sharp. I mean, she could have had a great career. But, I mean, if we spent, much time together, no, we didn't spend much time together. That's what you mean.
She's
Weren't
just
you
my arch
considered
nemesis.
No. Let's just say that we didn't agree on much, but enemies, no.
Didn't she implicate you in the Orinka landfill scandal 6 months ago, Senator?
Well, she tried, unsuccessfully. But as you know, I was reelected in the meantime.
Can you tell me more about the landfill episode?
Well,
No.
yes, my friend Al Leonetti has landfills all across the country. Now, Taylor French discovered through unethical means, I might add, that he had brought in a little toxic waste and buried it.
You know, everyone brings in
And
a little
also
bit of
he had
toxic
a
waste.
long-running feud with the state over how to line the landfill. And where she tried to get me was I invested little money in Al's business just a few years before.
Senator, a colleague of Taylor French's hinted that she had something on you.
Oh.
Something that could potentially destroy your career.
Yeah,
Do you
just
know
me
what he's
hitting my
talking
wife.
about?
Oh, those reporters. Look, Detective, that is your job. Whatever it is, I am innocent.
Can you tell us where you were between the hours of 7 and 10 last night?
Why, sure. I was home in bed with the flu. My
With the
chief of staff ran out to the pharmacy to get a prescription around 7 o'clock, or maybe it was a little before.
You sprung back
They
quite
came
quickly.
home, we stayed up to watch the news, and I went to sleep. I think he stayed around a little while to work. I mean, he can confirm that I was home in bed.
Usually, people
Detective,
confirming people
I
home in
do
bed
have a meeting in
is the
5
wife.
minutes, and I'm due to fly back to Washington today, so
I'm afraid, Senator, we'll have to ask you to stick around another day or two.
Okay.
Detective,
Didn't like
I've
that.
been
No.
most cooperative.
Oh,
This is absurd.
I think it's in everyone's best interest to have you stay, including yours, Senator. We'll be as prompt as we can.
but not your
One other
wife's.
question, sir.
Maybe you could
Where
go for that.
was Mrs. Parker yesterday evening?
I do not know.
Oh.
First time I saw her, she came home with Joni Armistead, completely distraught over having discovered the body of Taylor French.
Thank you, Senator. We'll be in touch when we have more questions.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been pleasure?
Yeah,
It's weird how that phrase changes if you just remove the A, because it's been a pleasure. Okay, yeah, everyone, well, not everyone, but, people do say that. But it's a pleasure.
yeah.
Bit weird.
Detective, you're halfway there.
I know.
The
We're
autopsy should be ready
just
by
basically
now,
going to
shouldn't
be
it?
asking questions for everyone of this one. And then we'll run out of time and then come swing back around.
Please state your name.
Wow.
And occupation.
Brian Fitzpatrick, Chief of Staff, U.S. Senator Richard Parker.
Yeah, I'm
How
drunk.
did you
What
know
about
Taylor
it?
Well, we went to college together.
Wait, what?
Harvard. I went into politics, and she became a
Oh.
journalist.
Okay.
No, I like Taylor. Maybe admired's a better word.
I fucked her a
She
couple
was
of times.
Incredibly ambitious. Often at the expense of her subject matter. She was successful at closing down Al Leonetti's landfill.
This guy seems
For all
like
the
such a
wrong
prick.
reasons. I mean,
Yeah,
had
he also
an
seems really
excellent
sick. Like he's
environmental
gonna
compliance
chuck
record.
up at any moment.
Excellent. And now she's lighting fires under everybody about spouse battering. We got over 50 calls in the office in Washington last week. Before that, probably not 3 a year.
At one point, wasn't Senator Parker implicated in Al Leonetti's landfill scandal?
The allegation that the senator urged the state reg board to go light on Arinka were never substantiated, and I believe that that issue was dropped.
But you had words with Ms. French about it.
Not that I remember.
And I'm drunk, so...
You personally threatened her life.
Did I?
Do you know what you're saying?
Do you
The
know what you're
senator's a
saying?
public figure, and he's accused wrongly all the time in the press. It's part of the job. If I went around threatening the lives of all the journalists responsible for false accusations, I wouldn't have time for anything else now, would I?
What about the correct
And
accusations?
nobody from the senator's office, least of all me, has ever said anything like that.
But they did say something.
Quit trying to entrap me, detective. It won't work.
Where were you between the hours of 7 and 10 p.m. last night?
I was at the senator's office here in town. I often work late when I'm staying in Carthage. The senator had the flu.
Did he, though?
I drove down to the pharmacy and picked up his prescription.
This guy
I
got a
was
second
driving the
take.
senator's car. I went over to his house and dropped off the prescription and watched the 7 o'clock news.
Did they get this guy drunk for this?
He went to bed and I walked back into town and...
I think it was his own choice.
To the office, to the senator's office. I had a lengthy telephone conversation with Senator Harding in D.C. And I was back at the senator's house by 10:15. News was shocking. Shocking.
Just
Thank you for
shocking.
coming. We'll be in touch.
I'm gonna go get
Excuse
drunk
me?
again.
The senator and I are due to fly out of here tomorrow morning.
No.
I suggest, for publicity's sake, that you postpone it. It wouldn't look good if we had to call the
He's
senator
drinking right now. There's
Yeah.
gin in that glass.
It's vodka.
My, detective. Your ability to play hardball is most impressive.
Have you thought about being a senator? Suspects. No, sorry. Witnesses. That's what we're up to. Just 6. Alright. Here's the person who found her. What a head of hair. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the witness statements are a
Can you
bit more
describe
dynamic
exactly what
looking.
happened?
I'll try. I'm really terribly upset that this tragedy happened here in our community.
Terribly.
Let's see now. It was starting to get dark. My son Willie had come in. I don't know what time, as I didn't hear him, but he said...
I don't know what
about
time
8.
the Willie came in.
I was right here in the kitchen making soup in the blender. My husband is
what?
out of town. Anyhow, the dog needed to go out. So I stopped everything and put on my coat and headed out with her. Eleanor Parker, Senator Parker's wife, was due to come by the house at around 9 so we could start planning the annual Harvest Festival. So I stopped by to see if she wanted to come on the walk and just return home with me afterwards. The senator's chief of staff told me she was out in the park on a walk at that very moment. So Wolfus and I headed across the street to the park, thinking maybe we'd run into her. Well, Wolfus was straining at her leash, and I accidentally dropped it, and she went running off into the bushes. Suddenly, she started barking wildly. I came around the corner, and Wolfie was all stiff, the way dogs get when they're afraid. Well, I looked over, and she had been barking at a body lying face down.
Good Lord.
I froze. I mean, I knew it was Taylor, but it just wouldn't sink in. Her blood
So everyone
was
knows
pooling
Taylor.
around her head. I ran straight
Yeah,
to
looks like it.
Eleanor's,
I
yelling
still have
all
no
the
idea which one of them would have
She
done
had
it,
just
eh?
come home, and she was standing in her kitchen with her coat on. Brian Fitzpatrick was gone, so I called 911.
Brian was
when
gone.
we got back, lots of people had already started gathering. And some golfers were coming out our way. Thank God a policeman was walking through. The ambulance arrived and more policemen. To think, I go into that park most nights. It could have been me.
No, it couldn't have. Your head would protect you. That helmet of hair. Right, Liz Cannon.
Hi. I cover the local news here at the paper.
Hi.
Taylor and I were good friends, or at least as good as you can be when you have a 1-year-old.
Oh.
But ever since the baby, we've had a hard time getting together outside of the office.
Your editor, Marilyn Underwood, said Taylor didn't get along with another reporter named Barry Mitchell. Is that true?
Yeah. It is. Barry hated Taylor. He was downright hostile. Marilyn plays favorites a bit, and Taylor won. She was also a better reporter.
Do you think the animosity was strong enough to inspire murder?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Is there anyone else you know who might want Taylor French dead?
Well, the last time we had drinks, Taylor told me something.
Oh.
It's about this woman named Linda Roth.
Can you explain?
Well, she's this woman who has been connected to Taylor in a strange way since childhood. Linda's mother had an affair with Taylor's father when they were both young kids. Apparently, when Linda's father found out, he killed his wife.
Whoa.
Leaving Linda without a mother. I guess he just ran over her with his car. It was declared accidental. And he skipped town, leaving Linda to be raised by an aunt. Well, apparently, Taylor's father supported Linda right through college.
Huh.
Linda thinks of herself as Taylor's sister. She is weird and a little pathetic. Over the years, I guess Taylor tried to be nice, but keep her distance. And then about, 18 months ago, Linda moved here to Carthage. She moved in 3 doors down from Taylor in the same condo complex. Linda started calling and dropping by Taylor's place at all hours. Oh, Linda doesn't work. Claims she can't keep a job because of PMS.
What?
She actually gets disability payments from Social Security.
Then it won't be PMS.
So anyway,
that'll just be what she says
Linda
instead.
would drop by with food and little gifts. She would even sometimes come by the office here, and it was really starting to get to Taylor. But it really freaked her out a few months ago when she dropped by Linda's place and realized that Linda had decorated her apartment identically to Taylor's, right down to the couches and television set.
Huh.
Taylor told Linda to never come anywhere near her again. Then last week at drinks, Taylor told me that Linda Roth had threatened her in the parking lot.
Oh.
Saying that she would make Taylor sorry for the way she was treating her.
They both had television sets.
It bothered her a lot. Taylor just laughed off that kook who thinks he's being profiled in the Battering series. But this really shook her up. You could tell.
Thank you for your information.
Well, I just hope it helps somehow. This is just awful.
I'm just gonna turn away now. Not watch you leave. Hello, Frank Ozma.
My name's Frank Osmer. I work as a security guard at night. Look, I never knew Taylor French, but I heard enough about her. There's this guy who freelances with me sometimes named Mike Bird.
Oh, yeah?
Big muscle jack.
Tell me more about
I guess
Mike.
he also works on cars sometimes and Sometimes with the police is an auxiliary cop.
Oh.
It's not too stable from my observation.
What the fuck's
Maybe
an
he just
auxiliary
talks so
cop?
much nobody can stand to keep him full-time. Who knows? Anyway, he obsessed about his girlfriend. This woman he called Taylor. Only I never put it together that it was the Taylor French until after the Landfill series came out. And Mike started bragging about how he'd kill Al Leonetti if he ever laid a finger on his girl. Well, Mike and I go out for some beers one night after work. I don't know, I guess it's about 2 in the morning, and while we're in the bar, in walks Taylor French. I recognized her from her pictures in the paper.
Hmm.
Well, she barely gives Mike the time of day. You know, just a friendly wave from the other side of the room. And she's with someone else. Clearly this guy she's interested in. Well, Mike turns as white as a sheet and really starts to bell him back. Says the two haven't been getting along lately and how they decided to let things cool off. But it didn't ring true. In fact, I don't think he even ever dated her.
Oh.
She treated him like an acquaintance. Not even another glance in our direction. Which is really strange considering how much Mike talked about her. Look, I gotta get back to work. But I'm telling you, the man was obsessed.
What is this pink thing you're holding? Ah, hello, Dark Persona. How you doing today? Oh, yeah, we love it. We love a good old woman.
Well, I'll try to recall everything, though there's very little to recall. You must understand that I have had glaucoma surgery, which means I only see shapes.
Okay.
Now, I was watering my plants in the living room just as Jeopardy went off. I happened to look out my window that faces the park, and I saw 2 people standing at the gate. The one person was holding his or her hands on their hips.
Okay.
Whoever it was looked angry. Well, I could tell by the way they were holding their body. The other person was jogging, I think. Had on shorts and kept kind of running in place. Well, I walked through the living room to turn off the television.
She needed to go to the bathroom real
when
bad.
I walked back, they weren't there.
Was it a man or a woman?
Well, if it was a man, he was short. And he had on a green sweater. I'm afraid I'm not being very helpful. It's horrifying to think that somebody has been murdered so close to my house. Oh, yes, one more thing.
Yes?
There was an extra vehicle in the Wilson's driveway.
An extra vehicle.
Kind of grayish color.
Okay, grayish, yeah.
4-wheel drive, I think.
I can't see colors, but 4-wheel drive.
Because the Wilsons are out of town at the moment.
Oh, the Wilsons are out of town. Interesting. You must be the owner of the paper.
It's your chief speaking. Only 2 hours left to solve this murder.
We ain't solving it this time, Chief.
Is having a conniption fit about this.
Yeah,
They
I
say
have
murder
no
is all
idea.
wrong for their vacation image. You're telling me.
You're telling
You're
me.
telling
Oh.
I've been editor of this newspaper for 16 years.
I've been in a wheelchair for 4.
I considered myself her mentor. This has been quite a shock for me, as you can imagine. I don't know where to begin.
At the beginning.
Like any good reporter, Taylor had a nose for a hot story, but sometimes that could be dangerous. Her Battered Spouse series was a good example. A man named Tom Washington thinks he's being profiled in the series. He's been threatening Taylor, he's been threatening us. But I know for a fact he's not been depicted, and he doesn't want to listen. I've had a couple anonymous bomb threats here at the office. Last week I had to hire a security guard. I would hate for Taylor to be killed in the line of work, but I'm afraid that's what happened.
Is there anyone else who might have wanted to kill Taylor French for personal reasons?
8 months ago, Taylor was working on a series of illegal dumping in a local landfill called Orinka Landfill. Her disclosures of the violations helped to close the place. They even implicated a senator's office, but things were shut before anything substantial could be pinned down. Until this new series, it was Taylor's best work. I remember being glad when that whole thing blew over. But I guess it just looked that way. I talked to Al Leonetti. He's the one that owns it.
Did Taylor French get along with everyone here at the paper?
She and Barry Mitchell did not get along. He was a reporter on our staff, and he claims to have had a lead on the landfill violations before Taylor. But he couldn't establish the proof. Taylor came up with the proof. I had to give her the story. But he's an adult. He got over it. I don't think it was anything that would lead to murder.
What's wrong with the paper?
It was a professional kind of conflict.
What the Red alert.
Red alert! Red alert! You know, if anyone was going to be in a wheelchair, I would have put it with Dr. Wittgenstein. Or maybe Leela. Okay. Look at your fish, then look at me.
Dr. Wittgenstein, I believe you had a client named Taylor French?
Yeah. Well,
I'm Freud.
You must understand that there are certain pieces of information I would not like to...
Yes. 90s therapist.
Yeah. Life, you understand? However, if what you tell me is true, if she was murdered, I will tell all.
She was murdered, mate.
I am very much distressed about all of this.
I fucked her too.
Taylor was a very, at times, misunderstood young lady. She was very intelligent. She had a great interest in people. In fact, she would have made a good therapist. I told her that once. However, she had one or two flaws, as we all do. One habit in particular. She had to have something on everyone in her life to know their secrets. It's almost a compulsion. She had to know. I told her that it was immature, but she had a remarkable knack for getting out the truth and the hurt and the pain in everyone. I also found it very dangerous.
I found it
From
very
what she
sexy.
told me, several people resented her because she had somehow eked out things they did not want other people to know.
Is there anyone in particular?
What's the secret she got out of you?
Wanted her dead?
A short time ago, her life was threatened. It was in connection with that huge story about the possible violations at Al Leonetti's landfill. Senator Parker's name came up once. She came in here one day very upset because a member of the senator's staff had as much as threatened her life. His name was Fitzpatrick. Brian Fitzpatrick.
Dickbag Fitzpatrick.
Al Leonetti.
Her lover. Taylor was both repelled and attracted by him deeply. At some level, it was an infatuation. But he had a wife.
She always came back to me.
She told me that one day she found some papers while she was waiting for him in his office. Papers concerning a possible cover-up of the landfill violations. Well, she came in one day very upset, terribly upset, because she realized that the affair would have to end.
Oh.
Now, there is a possible murderer for you. I think, in his own way, he would have felt betrayed by the articles. From things she said, I believe he loved her also. He would have felt abandoned when she left him.
Is there anything else?
Well, a couple of months ago, I put her on antidepressants. She was depressed about the death of her parents several months ago in a car accident.
Oh.
Her articles and her investigations on battered spouses also bothered her. On some level, she identified with the victim's loneliness, how little our society does to help and protect them. But the drugs worked. She was feeling much better about everything overall. Well, that's all I can think of for now, but if you have questions, please come back. I never get a chance to talk.
I'm a therapist who doesn't get the chance to talk. Highly unlikely, sir. Highly unlikely.
I'm spending too much time with this android who's saying that he's having dreams now.
Have you met my fish? Oh, sweet. We get to see more of these individuals. What were you doing at the time, Mike? Oh, no, we get her instead.
Mike Bird wears many hats. He says that on the eve of the murder, he was at Sam's bar from 6 until 8 p.m.
Sam's bar.
He had plans to meet one of the waitresses at Sam's, but got bored and left. From 8 till 9, he was, in his own words, out for a spin. He claims he drove to the reservoir and back. He has no one to verify this.
Okay.
Dan Whitmer covers the reservoir in his patrol car. He says he didn't see anyone in the parking lot from 8:20 to 8:45 when he was there. Bird reports going back to Sam's, which was verified by bartender Ed Murphy.
Could have been Mike.
Brian Fitzpatrick did go to the pharmacist at 6:30-ish to pick up an antibiotic for the senator. The pharmacist remembered him. Fitzpatrick then reports watching the news with his boss. He claims that after Senator Parker went to bed, he walked into town to do some work at the office. I haven't found anyone who saw him walking to the office. However, Senator Harding confirmed that he was in a telephone discussion with Fitzpatrick between 8 and 8:45 p.m. the eve of the murder. He arrived at the Parkers around 10:15. This alibi would not hold up in court.
Yeah, I was going to say Eve, not the actual murder day. So Brian also unaccounted for.
This suspect story has some holes.
We're going to be heading into the
His fingerprints were
press
found
conference
on
soon.
Taylor French's Walkman and upper right arm. And there are small bruises formed under the prints on the arm, showing he used some force. He was at her house until almost 8. He said that after that, he went to Josie's for Mexican food, then went home. A waitress at Josie's remembered him, said he left a big tip. She just can't remember when. She thinks it could be around 8:30 or so. But when I asked her the first time, she suggested nearer 9. Another interesting note, he said he was driving his black BMW that night, but another suspect, Linda Roth, claims she thought she saw him in a Lincoln Continental.
Interesting. We know it's going to be a man because of the size 10 shoe. Unless the ladies are going to be putting on, I mean, there's only 2 women, isn't there?
This suspect reports being at a friend's from 7 until 8. The two went to a movie that started at 8:15. Their presence was confirmed by the owner who saw them enter together. Mitchell also produced ticket stubs. The movie ended at 10:15 p.m. He's got a good alibi.
It's pretty good. Oh yeah, the senator was a bit.
There's only 1 hour left. Use your time carefully. From here on, every minute counts.
Senator Parker went to bed with the flu at 7:30 or so after watching the news with his deputy assistant, Brian Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick went to the pharmacist at 6:30 to get an antibiotic for his boss. And that was verified by the pharmacist. His story matches the senator's. But what's odd is the senator said he was awake when Mrs. Parker came home, and that wasn't until 9:30. And Fitzpatrick is obviously an interested party. He's a loyal lieutenant, and he's going to protect his boss. This alibi is not airtight.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Not airtight.
We'll come back to...
Maybe Tom, yeah?
Well, what's it called? Because we've got an hour left, and I figured it might be good to have a look at some of the non-testimonial evidence to see if we can cut down some of the left-hand people.
True.
Mike, size 10. Okay.
Ooh, hello.
And he's right-handed. Okay, so Mike fits so far. No match of those at the crime scene, though.
88 Ford Bronco.
Ben's 10.
Shit.
Doesn't say if he's left or right-handed, though. Fingerprints. Matches one of two of identified on reading glasses found near victim on Lone Stone. Where the fuck was the low stone wall?
I didn't see no stone wall.
No. Brian. Ow. Oh. Oh, it's the press conference.
Here we go. One at a time.
Yeah, one at a time. It was discovered around... yeah, 8:40. No, okay. Bit later then. Where is Mike Bird employed? Well, a couple of different places, but I suppose it'd be the car parts store. Okay.
No.
Old family connection, I'd say. Yes. Impressions on the... It was her upper left arm. Yes. What percentage does a woman leave her batterer to increase her chance... 90?
Why are you asking me these questions? What the fuck?
What kind of car does Eleanor Parker drive?
Shit.
I'm gonna say a Volvo. Estimated worth. Fuck, I know. I haven't got to that part yet. Oh, I wrote this down. She's 33.
Ding ding.
Ding ding. I don't know. I don't know what Ellaville is, but let's go with that. Okay, not Ellaville. Official cause of death. Blood of the skull. Oh, sweet.
I'm afraid 6 hours is up, and I'm going to have to put you on to another case.
Yeah.
I hope you have more luck.
Ba-doop. That's right. We reopen the game. Imagine if I was just like, well, let's start from mission 2. Alright, we were up to... Oh yeah, I've got to click on them.
Oh, we gotta go through the interviews.
Good thing is that we don't actually have to play it, because it takes the time off beforehand, so I can just go blip blip. Oh, what the... Oh. DOSbox crashed.
Oh. Oh no.
How strange.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay, as long as this gets past the L.
My secrets.
Yes! We are past the L and killed! It was doing this...
Oh.
It was really weird, because, like, after the set, like, we started playing it again, and then, it just crashed randomly. Ooh. And then, what's it called? She's not undressed though. She's in what's that called? Jogging gear.
Well, she's undressed in the sense that she's not coming to dinner. I don't know.
She's not wearing a dress. I mean, it's kind of true.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So, just to give you a kind of idea of what's happened, the mayor's wife was walking her dog and found this reporter's been murdered. Originally, they thought
that's not a very flattering shot.
No, they never are. Originally, they thought that that she might have stumbled and then knocked her head on that fountain. There's no blood on that fountain.
Sure.
And then they realized that not only does she have a gash on this side of her head.
It's a hell of a stumble.
Yeah, there's a gash on the other side of her head as well.
That's like, well, I'm not going to say it. Never mind.
Can we see this? Because apparently there's a stone fence nearby, but I don't see it anywhere. From our pool of suspects, we have Mike Bird, who said that he was her boyfriend.
It was fucking Mike Bird. Look at him.
Not
to judge a book by its cover, but look at that guy. That guy's
he's a part-time cop.
I mean, he does fit the profile, but I feel like he's too easy of a collar.
I feel like Mike Bird and Al Leonetti are the same guy, just wearing different wigs and facial hair. That's the same guy.
Brian Fitzpatrick is the mayor's assistant. They actually went to school together, him and Taylor, who was the reporter. Al owns a series of landfills, one of which Taylor took down because
landfill is a great place to dump a body.
Well, no, but then they should have dumped the body there, not in the middle of the park.
Well, they're stupid. What can I say?
Yeah, but Taylor had one of his landfills closed down because it had nuclear waste.
You know, that's the most 90s thing I've ever heard.
What's that called? But she found out all about the nuclear waste because she was sleeping with Al Leonetti.
And how did she come to find out about the nuclear waste from sleeping with him, I wonder?
Oh, she went through the paperwork on his desk. But interestingly enough,
baby, if you thought that was bad, you should see all my collection of nuclear waste.
Even though that what's that called? She had Al's landfill closed down. He still wanted to be with her, and they were back in talks about getting back together. Barry's another person at the paper. Very gay, extremely gay. They were rivals.
And his name is Barry, as in what he would do with a corpse.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's...
Eleanor Parker is Senator Parker's...
such a bad
Our detective agency would just be like us shooting out like, yeah, because he had gay pride. No.
Well, we don't discriminate.
No.
That we just discriminate if you have a stupid name that could be a pun for murder. Then
yeah, that's true.
Really make it something.
Eleanor Parker is Senator Parker's wife. What's it called? Taylor had just done a series on
All right, so who's Senator Parker's mistress? Heyo.
Well, Senator Parker apparently was in bed with the flu at the time of
that's not all he was in bed with. Come
on.
The flu was his mistress.
Brian
was
was
there.
More likely,
Brian Fitzpatrick apparently was at his house, because he's the senator's assistant. Brian appears to be drunk. I'm just putting it out there. Brian is very drunk appearing. Eleanor apparently been talking to Taylor about being a battered wife. Senator Parker, again, apparently was in bed with the flu. Linda Roth is an interesting one to me. If it weren't for the fact that there are men's size 10 shoes at the footprints at the scene, I'd be like, oh, she's a bit crazy. They were, as children, Linda's mother had an affair with Taylor's father, and so Linda's father ran over over Linda's mother.
Oh my god!
And then skipped town.
Okay, that's not weird at all.
Yeah, and Linda's surprisingly was supported by Taylor's father, and so she considers them best friends / sisters. Taylor didn't really seem to be trying to distance herself from her, moved all the way out here. And Linda now suddenly lives 3 doors down. Tom Washington thinks that he's They went full Florida man, yes. But Tom Washington is a man that his wife, he battered his wife, and so his wife is the person that, no, he suspects he's the person being profiled as part of Taylor's battered wives series of articles.
Story.
But
okay, wait a minute. Question.
Yes.
Who was it that put forth the theory that she had slipped and hit her head on the fountain?
I think that was the police.
Oh.
They first went there and went,
That's like
she's
that's
right
like
on top
classic
of us.
Husband of battered wife excuse.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she just tripped and hit her head on her face on the doorknob.
I mean, Linda does have
Eleanor
a
who said I
Eleanor's
walked into a door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I'll give you a bit of a flavor of we know it's a man because there's a size 10 footprint near where Taylor went, and also.
Well, it could have just been a woman wearing a shoe to throw us off the track.
Mm-hmm.
But probably was a man.
We do know that they're right-handed and used a huge amount of force to kill her with a blow to the back of the head.
Please state your name and occupation.
Al Leonetti. I'm an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Leonetti, what was your relationship to Taylor French?
I fucked her.
Taylor and I were very close friends.
That's what we called her when I burned down.
Taylor and I were lovers for a little over the last 2 years.
Oh.
She and I split up after the Arinka scandal.
That would be the landfill. Yeah.
When did you last see her?
Last night.
Just before she was
It's very
murdered.
odd. I know it seems a little suspicious.
Yep.
I called Taylor 2 days ago to see if we could talk. To tell you the truth, I couldn't stop thinking about her.
I wanted to get back
I thought things
together.
had blown over. She had a new cause with a battered spouse thing. I went back hoping we could patch things up.
What time last night?
About 6:15, we met at her house. Sat out on the deck. I had a glass of scotch. She was drinking bottled water. She was on this new health kick. You know, running every night, laying off the fat. Wouldn't have lasted.
What did you talk about?
It's the confidence. Anyway, that's just to give you a flavor of him. I'll give you a flavor of Barry as well. Barry's doing good body acting, but he's flubbing a lot of lines.
Please state your name and occupation.
I'm Barry Mitchell, and I'm a reporter with the Carthage News, and I've been there for 8 years.
What words would you use to describe Taylor French?
Did you say 80 years or 8 years?
Avaricious, aggressive. Shall we go on to the B's? Brilliant.
I take it you didn't get along.
Well, you take it right, Detective. You see, Taylor wanted all of the glory, and she would just go to any length to get it. And she had Marilyn Underwood under her thumb, and because of that, she could just simply get away with murder. Pardon the
I'm
expression.
guessing the cue card is up there.
Take the famous solid landfill waste series, for example, that closed down the Leonetti landfill. Well, no one seemed to mind that Taylor was getting her information by sleeping with the landfill owner, who was very married, by the way.
If she was having an affair with the owner, why
Very
would she
mad.
write scathing articles about him?
Oh, well, classic Taylor. It's like conflict of interest, really, wouldn't you say? She told me that it was because he lied to her. And, of course, she found his ties with the mafia despicable. But personally, I think she was just angry because he wouldn't leave his wife. And I think Taylor was really just madly in love with him.
Mr. Mitchell, at least one person has described your relationship with Miss French as hostile.
Yep. Multiple people did that. Tom?
Just to remind you, Detective.
I know.
You've used 1 hour and you have 5 left.
These interviews do not take 20 minutes each, sir.
Please state your name and occupation.
My name's Tom Washington, U.S. Postal employee.
Mr. Washington, were you
Oh, he's gone
stalking
postal.
certain Taylor French over the past week?
I wasn't following her to kill her. Look, my whole life has changed ever since my wife met that woman. I mean, my wife...
My life is a lie.
Center, stupidest thing I ever heard of.
My wife.
I mean, what about battered husbands and fathers? I'll tell you about battering. She nags me all day, drives me berserk.
Wow, this guy's really giving it his all, isn't he?
Yeah.
Don't you know it's against the law to stalk?
Look, I was just trying to scare the bitch.
Ooh.
Oh.
Look, I wouldn't have touched her.
I wouldn't have touched her.
What time did you leave your stakeout at Taylor's condo, and where did you go?
Look, I started watching the place about 7. When I left, my truck clock said 8:15. I went down to Debbie's Diner.
My name's Mick McConnell, and I'm the United States Senator.
Do you know that Miss French was killed?
I'm from Kentucky.
Oh, my stars.
Where?
Oh, my fiddle-dee-dee.
La-di-da.
Thank you, Mr. Washington.
Happy birthday.
And other things that River Dandies would say.
Well, bless my buttons.
Throw this man in a cell right now.
Yeah, seriously.
Your name and occupation.
My name is Richard Parker. I am a United States
Dick
Senator.
Parker, huh?
How well did you know the victim?
I bet you were parking your dick somewhere you shouldn't have, buddy.
Actually, I spend most of my time in Washington, D.C.
Oh my days.
Oh my stars.
Yeah, I spend most of my time in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the name of my hooker.
She washes me real good.
Much time together? No, we didn't spend much time together. That's what you mean.
Weren't you considered enemies?
It's pretty much every time we started talking to someone,
that,
yeah, fuck
we
you.
didn't agree on much, but enemies, no.
Didn't she implicate you in the Orinka landfill scandal 6 months ago, Senator?
Did she?
When she tried, unsuccessfully. Well, as you know,
I covered it up.
Elected in the meantime.
Can you tell me more?
Yeah, that doesn't
about the
mean
landfill
shit.
episode?
Well, yeah,
Criminals get elected all the time.
Yeah, look at Donald Trump.
Across the country.
I know.
Taylor French discovered through
Is that man still trying? I feel like I
Do
haven't.
you have to ask?
Well, it's more. I haven't. I feel like because I felt like we were hearing about him pretty much every single day, and now it's like I don't think I've heard about him for about a month.
You should thank your lucky stars for that.
That's true.
Senator, a colleague of Taylor French's hinted that she had something on you. Something that could potentially destroy your career.
My dick.
Do you know?
But okay. So in terms of so far, Mike and Brian fit stuff on the site.
I'm voting for Brian. I've just got a feeling.
Look at all this other sort. We still haven't looked at the autopsy report, but I just wanted to kind of like cut down the men first. Cut down the men. Oh, okay. It's not Al. His shoe size is too big, and he's left-handed. So that was real love. Not Barry, because Barry is left-handed. He's got the right shoe size, but he's left-handed. We know this person should be right-handed. Senator's feet's too big.
Excuse me. There are 4 hours
Excuse
remaining
me.
to solve this murder.
Oh, wow. Tom. Shoe size 12. Dang.
Well, so was the senator.
Was he? I thought his was 11. Either way.
No, he was 12. They were both 12.
He was a 12. He was a 12.
Both big boys.
So Tom is bashing his wife with his dick, clearly. Good lord. Oh, found on tapes and so he wasn't just casing the joint. He went inside her house. Creepy. Creepy, Tom.
That's very creepy.
So.
Oh my god! His name's Tom Washington, and the senator said he spends most of his time in Washington.
Oh god!
Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! What a scandal!
Oh, it's a message from Barry.
Taylor, I think it's time we have a titty.
What the fuck does that mean?
A tete-a-tete. We gotta talk, baby. I know it hasn't been easy being these past 6 months, but let's see if we can put that behind us. I want to run an idea for you by my next series. May I come by your house for a glass of wine tonight? If tonight doesn't... Oh, mate. You're a reporter, and you can't spell doesn't.
I'm a reporter.
I'm a reporter.
For the New York Daily Register News Tribune.
I'm proud of me. Ooh, hello. Dear Al, you mean the world to me, but I can't go back no matter what you say.
How are you reading that? I couldn't make out a word.
Oh, prepare to die.
Holy shit, poison pen.
Al, I'm looking forward to seeing you for drinks. It will be so hard to say no to our going back together, and so I want this to be in writing. Al, wait, why did that take time? Look, that's written on here. It just says Al Dearest, and it fucking took time for me. I don't think that's fair. Okay, here we go. Battering part 6. I can't read the rest of that. Lunch with Susan. Cole NY. Final interview. Hotel on 22nd. Meet Mike Bird for drinks at Sam's. For beers. Get on the beers. Editorial meeting. Mail taxes. Check with Jevy about plops? What? What is this? Floors?
Check with Jerry about...
Yeah, we got nothing. Plops. Eleanor Parker.
6 p.m. I'll pick up scotch.
Yeah.
Dinner running club.
Ooh. Oh, so he was drinking. Oh, yeah, he did say he'd been drinking scotch. Oh, photo. Yeah, it could be photos.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
Dinner with...
Yeah, it is photos.
Oh, we can click.
Oh, you can zoom in.
Up.
Well, that's handy.
Pick up. And plant. And plant. Dinner at running club. Oops. Deliver final draft about battering part 3. Editorial meeting at 11. Lunch at gym.
How many of these articles was she writing?
Oh, it's apparently a series of them. Membership to ask... remember to ask Mike about Tom Washington. Interesting. Call Mary Washington. Call Mary Washington. Call Eleanor Parker. Confirm meetings with Al. Call Sigmund. You need a lot of calls. Oh, she lost 4 kilos. Oh, sorry, pounds. That's right, she was on a... Oh, she just got a haircut.
All right. She was on a health kick.
Yes. Permit. Perennial. Okay. New airport. Check with Jerry about photos. It was correct. Mail taxes, editorial meeting, lunch with Liz C. Marilyn. Next installment, Alicia. Personal training. It's just written over the line so weirdly. Can we investigate the tissue box? Oh, hello. Oh, Last Will and Testament of Taylor French. I, Taylor McMahon French, being of sound mind and body, so hereby leave to the children of my first cousin, Elizabeth Smithson, the sum of 125,000, or 1/2 of my estate, and to Linda Hirschroth, I bequeath the... Oh, so she's given half of it. Okay, so...
There we go. For the press conference, when they ask what her net worth is, we could say 250K now.
Yeah.
Mm.
I gave her $500,000 for no reason. I was like, yeah, $500,000, that sounds right. McMahon's a weird middle name. But then Hirsch for a middle name as well. Hey, there's a space between the L and the rest of Linda. Linda. Okay. Her desk at... Okay, so that was in the office. Here's her desk at home. Oh, I can't wait to see you this evening. I must be with you. I forgive everything. My heart is yours, Alan.
Ooh.
Alan Leonetti.
Look at that laptop.
Yeah, we're getting there. Ooh, she got a gun.
Mm.
It's a hollow book as well. The Gulag Archipelago has been hollowed out. It contains a loaded handgun. The book's not locked, and the gun is easily accessible. The same unidentified prints on the briefcase. Oh, so those are Tom Washington's, but none are in... Okay, so he didn't find the gun. He was probably like, books boring.
I can relate.
The tapes appear to be messed up. The same... Okay, so he's messed up the tapes. But she's got one of them in her Walkman. Okay. 3 blank formatted floppy disks, 2 legal pads, a small leather address book, several pens, some small change, and 2 bottles of antidepressants, Elevin. The prescription for Elevin was filled 2 days ago. 6 tablets, enough for a couple of days, are missing. The papers appear jostled, and Taylor's prints are covered all over by numerous contacts of an unidentified pair. Someone has been going through her things. Okay. Nope, that's it.
Boy, this music sure is repetitive.
Yeah. Yep.
Do-do-do.
Do-do-do.
Do-do-do. Do-do-do.
Is it time for the autopsy yet? No. Okay, so 17 minutes to go. Phone messages, office.
Do-do-do.
Hey, babe. It's Mike Bird. Give me a call sometime today. I got a lead on a story you might like.
Ooh. Oh, I want to hear more from Dr. Widenstein, who was her, what's it called?
90s therapist.
Very 90s therapist.
90s therapist sounds like a great show title.
Please come and see my fish again. Who's Bert Fleming?
Hi, Taylor. This is Bert Fleming from over in Roxbury. I heard you're doing a story on battering, and on this end, I'm the one being battered, and I'm willing to talk.
Oh.
Give me a call if you want to. 766-9802. Thanks.
Bert, you sound interesting. I need to hear more from Mary Washington about Tom.
Taylor, it's Mary Washington. I really need to talk to you. Tom is on his knees begging me to come back. He also wants the tape you have of our interview, or at least a copy of it. Please say no. Call me at the center when you get this. Thanks.
Please say no.
Taylor, this is Mary Washington. Tom is on a rampage, I hear.
I'm not a very good actor.
I feel safe here. Thank you so much. Will you give me a call?
Hi, Linda. Just calling about the rent again.
Oh. Okay. What about the rent? What's happening there?
It's overdue with the landlady.
It's me, Linda. I hate to bug you, but I really need the rent. Call me and I'll explain.
Huh. Because Linda apparently was on benefits. So, although this was an interesting thing from the witnesses, one of them said, she's apparently on security, benefits, on welfare payments for her PMS. I was like, I don't think so. I think it's going to be something else if she's getting it for that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
She's on security. I mean, she's on welfare because she has PMS.
That's what someone else said. I was like, man, I don't think that was right.
What? Who said this?
Apparently, because Linda put herself forward as I'm her best friend, but one of the women in the office was like, no, actually, I spend a lot of time with Taylor. We were best friends.
Oh,
and Linda's on welfare for PMS.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'd love to question Linda more and just be like, so the PMS was that real?
What the hell is wrong with this fool? Who says things like that?
Hello, my name is Amanda Rock. It's 10:12 a.m. I'm going to Carthage Central and I want to be a reporter. May I come and interview you for a paper? My number is 766-9802.
My God, who did they play these message people? They're terrible.
Yeah. I'm going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Linda's calling her at home as well.
Detective, you're halfway there.
I know.
The autopsy should be ready by now, shouldn't they?
Living on a prayer.
Where could you be?
Oh.
Well, I want to tell you about my session with Sigmund. Come on, don't be upset that I'm still seeing him. I do have other things to talk about other than you and me and our screwed up lives. Sorry. Call me, okay?
What? So she's also seeing the 90s therapist.
Taylor, it's Eleanor. Please return my call. I need to see you. I called at the office.
Okay. Did we see calls from her from the office? I don't think we did.
It's Eleanor. Give me a call at home, please. You have my private number.
You have it. Oh, yeah. Al, speak to me your love language.
Al, just confirming our little date. I'll see you after 6. Can't wait.
I bet you can't.
I really can't wait to see you. Bye.
Taylor, it's Eleanor. Now I'm angry. This must be my 5th or 6th call.
Now I'm angry.
I spoke to my lawyer about getting my pay back. Please call me at once.
Interesting.
Taylor French, this is MCI calling. We have a great offer for you. I'll try calling back tomorrow after 5 o'clock.
A great offer indeed. Who's Neil Jeffries?
Hello, Neil Jeffries here. Remember me? I met you 2 months ago at the AIDS fundraiser. I'd like to see you. Give me a call when you have a moment. 434-6632.
I would like to bang you. Thank you. Let's check out that autopsy. Alright. Carthage Town. Yep. Oh, it's that thing again where they're just slightly off screen. God damn it. The deceased was discovered inside Carthage Town Park by a woman walking her dog at approximately 9:40 last night. She was discovered lying on the ground next to the water fountain. Victim was wearing black nylon running shorts, a white t-shirt, athletic socks, and running shoes. All in good condition. There are 2 significant bludgeon wounds to the back and right side of the victim's head. The victim's hair near the trauma is thick and matted with blood from the wound site. There is corresponding blood stains on the victim's hand and shirt. Blood tests identify all blood as the victim's own. There are no other external signs of trauma. It appears that the victim has been hit on the head from behind with a large blunt object while getting a drink of water. My analysis was that she was hit on the base of the skull, and when she turned to face her attacker, she was hit again on the right side of the head. It's difficult to ascertain which blow killed her. I mean, probably the second one, because what's it called? If she turned to face her attacker, you wouldn't do that if you were already dead. You would just go bleh. That's my what's it called? Very professional opinion.
You just do what now?
I just go bleh and fall to the ground.
I see.
A fanny pack was still attached to her waist. Contains a small can of something, keys, and a couple of dollars. Her Sony Walkman was also still attached. Tape inside was confiscated
little product placement.
by crime scene by detectives. Possible evidence: the headphones were dangling from her neck. A photograph of the victim with X marked across it was found lying about feet away from the victim in a small flower patch. The victim is slight with muscle tone above average. Overall, the body appears to be in excellent condition. I love when they talk about excellent condition. The victim's eyes are hazel colored with long lashes. The hair is blonde and worn in a tied back. In a tied back? It should have been in a tied back ponytail, but okay. In a tied back. Her teeth are average condition. Root canal work was recently performed in upper right side. Scar from appendectomy on lower right abdomen. There are no signs of recent sexual penetration. Good. Ambient temperature at the park where the body was found was measured 74 degrees Fahrenheit, taking into consideration victim's weight and size. State of rigor mortis at 11:30 p.m. Time of death is estimated between 9 and 10 o'clock in the evening on July 18th. Body and clothing wet from perspiration. Depressed fracture with basilar extension. Laceration to the right side of scalp. Fracture at base of skull. Slight contusion at left knee. Slight laceration of left cheek where deceased fell. Large bruise on left hip from fall. Internal blood found in airways from bronchial tree. Particles of inhaled blood in lungs. Indicated death not instantaneous. Periorbital ecthymosis. Major internal organs tend to be healthy. Cerebral contusions and subdural hemorrhage. Depressed fracture of base of skull. Deceased, a victim of brutal attack with blunt object. One blow hit the base of the skull causing fracture. Subdural hemorrhage. First blow followed by another blow to the left temple causing cerebral contusions. Victim was attacked twice about the head with a blunt object causing injury to her neurological system, causing all bodily functions to cease. Thank you, Sid. Let's let's look at the notes first on the series of batterings. Oh yeah, because they're going to ask us about this in this stupid press conference. The batterer betters to control his victims. To get her to do what he wants. More than 50% of women are battered at sometimes in their life. Each year, 4 to 6 million women are battered in the US. In 1991, there were 32,000 animal shelters in the US. There are only 12,000 shelters for abuse victims. An average of 10 women a day are killed by their batterers. Went too far. So did the husbands who battered. I mean, women who leave are at a 75% greater risk of being killed by their batterer than those who stay. Between 31 and 61% of all women killed in America are murdered by their husbands, ex-husbands, or boyfriends. Half of all rapes of women over 30 are part of battering syndrome. Medical sources suggest that approximately 37% of obstetrics patients across race, class, and educational lines are physically abused while pregnant. 85% of all women with disabilities have been victims of domestic violence. 33% of teenage girls report physical violence during a relationship. Battered women feel responsible for the pain they feel, 100%.
Well, this sure is a bright and cheerful
murder mystery. Abusive husbands and lovers harass 74% of employed battered women at work. Amongst the psychological responses to victimizations of feeling of self-blame, anxiety, isolation, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. As many as 70% of men who batter their wives also batter their children. Every year, 1,000 women kill a man who assaults them. Yay!
Yay!
Here's the audio tape. Sorry, it's just the button that says here, but it's also like all of these have such bad artifacting on some of the things that it's just ear.
Here you go. Listen to this here tape.
It leads ye to the treasure.
Tape of an interview between the deceased and Eleanor Parker, the wife of Senator Richard Parker. It was found in the Walkman Taylor was wearing when she died. She recorded over a commercial recording. She obviously wanted to conceal its contents.
Oh.
The material on it is explosive and could well ruin Senator Parker's career.
Woo!
Oh boy.
Sure, I did. He has threatened me more than once. I tried. I know I seem very frail, but underneath, I'm made of steel. I've had to be to survive a political life. First my father and now my husband. I was taught that you protect your family name before you protect yourself. It's too ingrained in me to ever change. I know that. I can't believe I'm saying this to you now.
Well, that wasn't extremely explosive. I know we just had all those stats.
Self-destruct.
Yeah, there's a message that's come through. There we go. I know we just had all those stats, but can we still perv on our thighs, right? I mean, if you feel fine doing that. All right, let's see if we can get through this press conference now.
It's the bum bag for me. Oh, God, one at a time.
One at a fucking time! Between 9 and 10. Ding ding. Eat after.
Hey, the questions aren't voiced.
They decided not to do it anymore. Oh,
small mercies.
Yeah.
What did he eat after? He ate Linda Roth. I mean.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Josie's. Yes.
Yay.
What season of the year did the homicide occur? It is.
Oh my God! Who cares?
It's like
They just want to see how much attention you're paying.
Okay, it's not spring. 75.
Oh.
Who saw the victim stop and talk to someone before entering car? Oh, it was Leela Turnbull. Although she couldn't. What's that called? She couldn't. She's got glaucoma, so she can only see shapes.
Oh.
What had the victim been drinking prior to the murder? Bottled water. What happened to the victim's parents? They got killed in a car crash several months ago. What was unusual that was found at the crime scene? It was a photograph of the victim. Take a look at this photograph. What business is Al Leonetti in?
Every time it makes me laugh.
Where was Tom Washington's wife on the night of the murder at the Center for Battered Women?
Great job with the
Woo!
detective. You really let them know who's in control. At this point, you can conduct in-depth interviews with up to 3 suspects, or go straight to making your warrant application. Whatever you do.
I still haven't decided who it is though. It's going to be either Mike or Brian, just based on that. But who else do I want to speak to? I need to hear more from Barry.
What about the wife? I mean, Eleanor.
Yes, because she would be I'd say that possibly she might have told Brian, which might be Brian's whole thing about why he went and did it. We'll put her into this mix. So let's talk to her. Yes. Tell me about. I mean, we know why, but tell us.
Taylor and I had planned to get together the following day again.
We heard your messages,
Don't you
honey.
say it's unusual to make that many calls simply for a casual date?
No, I don't think it's unusual at all.
They weren't casual calls. They really weren't casual calls.
She's climbing up on us.
I'm so afraid my husband did it. He hated Taylor. He was obsessed. He was so afraid she would go to a big city paper with a larger audience.
A big city.
He was terrified. He and Brian, they talked about it half the night 2 days ago.
Interesting.
Despite his obvious problem with alcohol, I think he's probably the best chief of staff my husband's ever had.
Oh, so it wasn't just me who was reading him as drunk. those are all the questions I have for you. All right. Brian?
Well, that was useless. Sorry.
You said you walked to the senator's... Oh! and returned from picking up medicine and watching the end of the news with the senator. Did you see anything else?
It's your chief
I
speaking.
know.
Only 2 hours left to solve this murder. The Chamber of Commerce is having a conniption fit about this.
They always do, don't
They
they?
say murder is all wrong for their vacation image.
Do they keep filming stuff with this guy, or do they just do it the one time and go, that's good enough?
I probably just missed seeing Taylor. I walked to the corner of Raleigh and Rockport, then kept going straight up Raleigh into town. I didn't notice anything.
I didn't notice anything.
For all appearances, fine. But in reality, they don't see much of each other.
Cool.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Did they have a fight recently?
Yes.
Yes. What were they fighting about?
Well, I overheard him accusing her of trying to destroy his career. He was upset over the fact that she talked to Taylor, whom he despises. She was upset because of a photograph in People magazine where he's schmoozing with an attractive woman.
Oh.
Schmoozing?
Schmoozing. Oh, there's more. Yes.
Smooches with the best of them.
Schmoozing.
I respect him. What does that have to do with murder?
No, we asked if you liked him.
No, I don't. I feel sorry for her.
Aww.
I don't feel comfortable answering that question, and I
yes.
won't answer that question without a lawyer.
Say yes.
I write some of his speeches, I make his reservations, I oversee the staff, I plan his meetings, whatever the senator needs, I do.
I never trust anyone named Brian. Yeah, is there another page for Eleanor? Yes.
Yes. He has on and off for years. Where is the tape?
Where is it?
It's in our possession. Part of evidence. Is that the information Taylor French had that you were worried about?
Yes. I was afraid she would use it against us and ruin Richard's career.
His career? What about your life?
My life? It's ruined, Detective.
Cool.
I would hardly call it an interview. We had lunch together over a glass or two of wine. I know I said some things I shouldn't have, but since the tape has disappeared, I'd just as soon drop it.
Rough it? Oh, drop it. I think it is going to be Brian. Yeah, tell me more about her relationship with Linda.
She mentioned it once. Linda got really weird toward her one
Like
time
your
in the
hair is
parking lot
magnificent.
at the health club. Started screaming and crying, saying how Taylor hadn't called her in 3 days. Taylor was really grossed out by it. Said the chick wouldn't leave her alone.
The chick wouldn't leave her alone. Were you in love with Taylor?
I thought so once. Yeah, briefly.
Yeah. When was the last time you
When was
slept
the
with
last
her?
time you slept with the victim?
Go into detail.
It was about 9 months ago.
Oh.
Around the time she broke up with Al.
Oh. So she was sleeping with both of you at the same time, and then she wrote the report and dumped him, and then she suddenly goes, "Yeah, nah, neither you." What were you wearing?
A green sweater and a pair of jeans.
Do you think Tom killed her?
No.
Nah.
I think Al did it.
Oh.
Al Leonetti.
Very white teeth, sir. Alright, I'm gonna finger Brian.
Oh.
And then accuse him of murder?
Yeah. Fear of exposure, maybe? Oh, what did he use though? We just know it was blunt. So it could be a rock, it could have been a brick. Could have been a machine gun! Oh my god. We'll go with rock. Fear of exposure sound right? Or do we want loyal to employer? Let's go loyal to employer.
Listen, there's only 1 hour left.
We just put the warrant
Use
in,
your time
mate.
carefully. From here on, every minute counts.
Excellent work, Detective. I grant you a warrant to arrest the suspect. I hope you found your murderer.
Me too.
Brian Fitzpatrick is fanatically loyal to the senator, but so far that loyalty does not involve contract murder.
Damn it!
He probably just missed seeing Taylor French as he was walking back to the senator's office after delivering the antibiotic to his home. Senator Harding, moreover, personally confirmed that he was on the phone with Fitzpatrick from 8:10 to 9:15. The phone company records back this up. Fitzpatrick, although he may have once threatened Taylor, didn't do it.
Shit.
You still have time.
So what? It has to be Mike then.
Good luck.
Oh.
But I don't want it to be Mike. He was alone. He had no alibi for the time of death. Sexual jealousy. Rock.
Your stated alibi in the warrant application does not match the suspect.
Okay, fine. Okay, so he...
Oh, shit.
He was... doesn't have an alibi... He has an alibi, but he wasn't there at the time that he said he was.
Detective, you have a half hour to go.
I know.
And only 10 minutes before you have to file your warrant to arrest. If you don't have a suspect, it's time to make a guess.
Excellent work, Detective. You've put together a fine case. I grant you a warrant to arrest the suspect. I hope you found your murderer.
I don't think I hope I have, because... No!
Morning.
Mike!
In the gym, she said to me, Mike. She said, Mike.
She said, Mike,
I can't love you in that way. That way, huh? 2 years of leading me on, doing this and that. I'm Mike Bird. Do you know how many women
Don't you know who I am?
give their eye teeth to go out with me, huh? Do you?
Oh my god.
Yeah, well. I really loved her.
So I killed her.
Enough to kill her.
Taylor. She said she was gonna get out of here. Going to New York.
New York City.
New York City?
I knew where she'd
You can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
I was gonna find her. I went and I waited. I saw her at the entrance to the park. Taylor?
That luscious hair's
She
going to
stopped,
jail.
Turned around. It seemed like something was wrong or she was angry. What do you want? She asked.
She dismissed the wrong man.
I just asked her. I just asked her not to leave. She just turned around and walked towards the water fountain, just like that. bent down, took a sip. And I saw her, brush the hair out of her eyes like she always did.
Looks like Matt Berry. You take that back. Not Matt Berry wouldn't kill a murderer. Kill a woman.
So I reached down on the lock and
Taylor!
I saw her bend over just like she always did. And then I said, yes!
Yes!
I hit her!
I hit her!
Again! And again!
Oh my god. This guy really is.
He's giving it his all.
Outstanding work, Detective.
He is.
I probably couldn't have solved this case as fast myself. What? Are you after my job?
Yes. We didn't get a promotion this time.
Oh well.
Back in there. I just want to see if we're going to see if like the from the report of murder if the other ones are different. Cuz like what's it called Brett Pennant's each murder was different. So like, wait,
Cheryl Lee.
Yes.
Like, Twin Peaks Cheryl Lee.
Yeah, from Twin Peaks, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, interesting. So it seems that once the program has finished, it kills itself.
Oh.
Oh, that's what's happening. Interesting.
Interesting. I will have to bring that up with the Exodus guys because they will be most intrigued by this development as well. But yeah. So that's the end of the stream, everybody.
Hooray!
We solved
I gotta go. Get ready for work anyway.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next weekend. I'm not sure what we'll be playing. If I can't think of anything, we'll come back and do Murder 2 and 3. But yeah, hope everyone has a good week. Grundy's going to be streaming during the week, working on his game. And
yeah, it never ends.
Yes, and Dave and I will hopefully be streaming on our Thursday session.
Hopefully.
Where we go and keep some more stones.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe some entomorph beforehand as well. Anyway, we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.